Pretty incredible news coming out today as people are saying that President Joe Biden is trying to start World War III with just weeks left of him being in office. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is President Joe Biden trying to start World War III right before he leaves? Take a look at the latest headlines with me and let's see what they're saying. World War III coming. Biden's weapon ban lift on Ukraine sparks major concerns. This coming out today, November the 18th, 2024. And take a look at all the headlines coming out today. Biden lets Ukraine use long-range missiles to hit deep inside of Russia just weeks before Trump takes office. And we had heard them say, Russia, Putin, saying, if the United States allowed this, this would lead to nuclear war and World War III, and specifically calling out the United States. Biden authorizes Ukraine to strike Russia with U.S.-supplied long-range missiles. We had heard Putin say whatever nation supplies these weapons, they will be at war with Russia. Russian lawmakers raises bogey of World War III after Biden allows use of long-range U.S. missiles by Ukraine. U.S. military-industrial complex seeks to unleash World War III, Donald Trump Jr. says. Donald Trump Jr. claims that Biden, his administration, is trying to cause World War III before Trump's inauguration.
Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. The second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash, double honors to the other apostles and the other bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel in truth and sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Lord, willing, fall upon all your houses. So Brother Quanah Wath come back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Lord will. It is edifying, Lord will. It is straight to the point. And as you had seen right in that video, that they're, basically, approving, right, America, right, the Biden administration is basically approving, right, the use of American missiles, right, by Ukraine, right, on Russia, right? They are approving it, right? And this is ultimately Russia's response, right? This is on the Newsbreak app, right? It says Newsweek.com, Kremlin responds to Joe Biden's authorization of the ATACMS missile strikes, right? It says the Kremlin has responded to Joe Biden's alleged authorization for Ukraine to use U.S.-provided weapons to launch strike against Russian territory, which we know that Russia has ultimately stated that if really any Western missiles or any Western, weapons are ultimately used, right, on Russian soil, right, it would ultimately lead, right, to World War III, right? And now we're looking at the escalation of the issue, right? It says Dmitry Peskov, right, Vladimir Putin's spokesman, said that such a decision would escalate tensions and deepen U.S. involvement in the war, which we know America is already backing Ukraine, right? America is already, dropping billions of dollars, right, and giving it to Ukraine, again, to fund this war that's happening between Ukraine and Russia, right? It's not a mystery, man. Right, America is backing Ukraine in this war between Ukraine and Russia, And now here you go, the Biden administration basically approving, their missiles being used on a Russian soil, which would by default, right, bring America into the fight, man. Right, America's indirectly fighting this fight, But see, again, this whole situation, right, if it did escalate and they did end up using American missiles on Russian territory, it would automatically, by default, enter in America into this war, man, right? It says it's obvious that the ongoing administration in Washington intends to take steps in order to continue fueling the fire and provoking further escalation of tension, right? It says if such decision was really formulated and announced to the Kyiv regime, then of course it's a qualitatively new spiral of tension and a qualitatively new situation from the point of view of the U.S.'s engagement in the conflict, right? It says Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky responded to the alleged U.S. authorization on Sunday, saying, "Today there is a lot of talk in the media about us receiving permission for respective actions, but strikes are not carried out without words. Such things are not announced. Missiles will speak for themselves," right? So he's ultimately making that threat. Hey, if we really did it, we're just going to fire on you, man. We ain't going to tell you we did it, right? It's basically what he's saying, right? It says Ukraine has for months sought U.S. approval to carry out long-range strikes inside Russian territory, but the White House previously resisted, citing concerns over escalating the conflict. And now, that fear or concern for escalation has gone out the window, man. Why? Because Esau knows he has but a short time, so he has to, speed things up, man. Right? Really, Yahweh Shem Shah is speeding things up, right? It says last month, Putin said that allowing Western long-range missiles to be used against Russia would mean direct NATO involvement in the war, which we know, right? I've stated it before, right? There's something called Article 5, right? This is Article 5 for NATO. It says, and we'll just read the AI overview, right? It says Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, right? NATO, NATO, states that if a NATO member is attacked, all other member countries are obligated to assist, right? Let's go down and read a little bit more. This is on NATO's website, right? See if it'll pull up. Okay, it's not pulling up. We'll just read it right here, right? It says Article 5 provides that if a NATO ally is the victim of an armed attack, each and every other member of the alliance will consider this act of violence as an armed attack against all members and will take the actions it deems necessary to assist the ally attacked. So again, if this, America allows for that, the American missiles to be used, right? They're saying that it would automatically enter NATO into the issue, right? It would automatically, right, enter NATO into the fight, man. It was called Lord Yahweh Shem Shah. I'm looking up and there's a whole chariot, man, going right over me, man. They call Lord Yahweh Shem Shah. And again, this is what's taking place. These are the times that we are in, right? World War III is literally around the corner, man. Right? This whole situation that's happening right now, man, this isn't for, just some, just so, hey, the Lord's going to stir it all up, right? Just to calm it down. No, man. This eventually is going to lead into World War III, man. This eventually is going to lead into World War III. Let me grab a precept real quick. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. And I want to drop down to verse 8, getting the point. It says a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace, man. And we're not in the time of peace, man. Right? Soon we will be, right? With righteous rulership being established, right? Beginning with Yahweh Shai, King David, the 144,000, and the rest of the elect, right? That'll be a time of perfect peace, man. Right? Not going to be any more violence, right, in the earth, right? But before we can get to that peace, right, it's got to be that final war, that war to end all wars. And this is what it says, right? A time of war. We're in that time of war, man. Right? Yahweh Shem Shah is ultimately going to stir everything up. All right, let's go back and finish out this article. It says, but since then, Putin's forces in the Kursk region, where Ukraine launched an incursion in August, have been bolstered by thousands of North Korean troops, right? So, Yahweh Shem Shah ultimately gathering these nations, right, together, man. Gathering these nations, preparing these troops, right? For what? For the Valley Yahweh Shaphat, man, right? That final battle, right? It says this may have shifted the calculus in Washington, with the New York Times reporting that ATACMS, Army Tactical Missile System, rockets are likely to be used against Russia's military operation in the region. Right? It says later on Monday, TASS reported that Washington has informed Berlin of Biden's decision. Peskov described the move as alarming as well as reckless and dangerous. Right? So again, showing you that a lot of America's allies, right, are not on board with with what's going on, man. Right, furthering tensions, because like a lot of these a lot of the European countries, right, which was, ultimately stated when, America ultimately went to go throw sanctions, right, on Russia during the scamdemic, right, or just at the end or near the end of the scamdemic, right, when the lockdown and whatnot. Hey, well, guess what? You had Germany, France, and a lot of other, European countries basically, pissed off at America because they're sanctioning Russia, right? And Russia ultimately made the statement that those that are allied with America, right, and who approved this sanction, and they're ultimately going to be deprived of Russian resources, man. And that's what happened, right? 40% of the European economy runs off of, Russian exports, man. Right? Crude oil, and whatnot, man. A whole, a plethora of different things. And they were hit hard, man. Right? And now, again, America here makes another move, right? And the nations are saying, and these nations that are allied with America, they're saying, hey, that wasn't a smart move, man. That wasn't a smart move, right? Which is going to lead to America's allies turning against them, man, right? Which is ultimately prophecy, right? And that was it on that article. I want to grab this in Revelations. Again, just proving. Actually, we'll go to Obadiah. And I want to read it in the NLT too. Obadiah 1. It says, right here, verse 7. Obadiah verse 7. It says, all your allies will turn against you. Right? This is speaking, on Esau, Edom, right? But, here in America, man. America's allies, right? Esau, Edom's allies are ultimately going to turn against him, man. Hell, you got a lot of, the French and whatnot, right? Those are Edomites, man. And again, they're not okay with what, what America's doing, right? Which just shows you, man, right? Esau is divided against himself, man, right? Because you got Americans, right? Those are Edomites, right? They're the proud, lazy, slothful Edomites, right? And then you got all the Edomites that are outside of America, right? The French, right? The Russians and whatnot. These nations are against each other, man. Which ultimately proves, right, that this place is going down because a nation divided against itself cannot stand, But again, nonetheless, right, America's got to lose its allies on a very drastic level, man, just based off of the decision it makes, and we'll ultimately have to, keep our eyes peeled, right, for what is, how this situation ultimately plays out. Lord will, it ultimately spirals from here, right, but we don't know, man. It says, all your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. That's right, man. These nations are ultimately going to band, together against America, right? Ban against America, man, and ultimately they're gonna aid in the destruction of America. Let's go ahead and grab this. Jeremiah chapter 51. So I get chapter 50. We'll go back to the KJV. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. It says the prophecy against Babylon. It's like a prophesy against Babylon. That's right, man. It says we'll go jump down to verse 9. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. That's right. And the north country, right, is ultimately going back into, Russia, man, right, whom America, right, has just approved, right, for Ukraine to use missiles on American soil, man, right? And that's going to, again, poke the bear, man. That's a major, poke to the bear, right? The bear being the Russians, man, that's going to stir up some shit, right? And then to add to that, right, you got Israel, right, having skirmishes between, Iran, Lebanon, and their, their little, what do you want to call them, man? Militias, right? The Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, right? As the scriptures say, right, the least of the flock shall draw them out, which is going into the small hats, man. right? So really a prophecy is popping off right before our face, man. You know, right before our face, right? It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, right? And that assembly, again, is going to incorporate, right, Russia's allies, which Russia's number one ally, as mentioned in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, which is the Persians, which we know today, right, that name got changed to Iran, right? So the Iranians, right, the same one that the small hats are ultimately having, you know, a war with at the same time, man. You know, and there being a call for, you know, all the Muslim nations to band together against, you know, Israel, right? So this is looking real bad for, you know, America and Israel right now, man, right? It says assembly of great nations. Again, that's incorporating, right, America's allies, right, who are all, again, going to turn against America, right, turn against Israel, right, and side with Russia. Right, side with Russia and Russia's allies, man. You know, which we know that Russia and China were ultimately doing joint military drills with each other, man. And we know that Russia has the largest military, right, standing army, right, in the entire world. You know, so this is going to be real bad for America and Israel, man. Right? It says, and they shall set themselves in array against her, right, against Babylon, man. You know, you imagine, you know what I mean, these nations, right, being likened unto people, right? You got America and Israel standing on one side, right? Even the UK, right? You got America, right? The UK and Israel standing on one side, and you got the rest of the nations standing on the other side, man. Where there's like 196, if not more, you know, nations in the world, you know, or countries in the world. And guess what, man? You're going to have 193 versus 3. That's a lot, man. You know? So really America and Israel, as well as the UK, are outnumbered, man. You know, completely. Right? And there's going to be ICBM nuclear missiles that are ultimately going to be, you know, shot off, right, to destroy America and Israel. You know? The only difference between the two is Israel's going to be built back up, man. You know? Israel's going to have to be built back up, right? Because that's going to be the epicenter of righteousness in all existence, man, the entire universe, right? It says, from thence she shall be taken. Their arrows, right, which those arrows are going into those ICBM nuclear missiles, right, shall be as of a mighty excrement, none shall return in vain. That's right, man, right? So this is what's ultimately planned, you know, planned for, you know, America and Israel, man. Straight up nuclear destruction, right? And we're seeing the buildup of that, right? That nuclear destruction that's ultimately going to come, right? We're in those times, man. You can't say that, hey, no, it's not going to happen in my lifetime. Bullshit, man. Bull fucking shit, right? Ezekiel 12 and 25. Go and read it, man. You know? But I'll close out with this. It's Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And the Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, man, prophecy is speeding up, man. We're in the times where World War III is about to pop off, man. Right? But we understand that before World War III can pop off, a Jacob's trouble, you know, has to come to pass, man. Which is the prophecy right before it, man. You know, as we read in Jeremiah 30 and verse 5 to 7, Matthew 24:21, Daniel 12 and 1, Revelations 3 and 10, right? That time is fastly approaching, man. Right? They got these new, you know, scanners. You got to scan your ID, you know. Hey, shit is just speeding up, man. Call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, man. You know, so as scriptures say, man, the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch under prayer, man. So keep your heads up. You know what I mean? We almost out of here, man. Keep your spiritual eyes open and spiritual head on a swivel, man. Watching for these prophecies that are coming to pass, man. Right? Keep the faith, man. Keep pushing. You know, we're almost out of here, man. So with that, Lord wills, edifying, Lord wills, straight to the point, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Badash, double honors to the elder apostles, as the bishops, the great millstones. Till next time I say shalom.